Happy holidays, Pylon listeners. If you're listening on this podcast, you're getting ready for Thanksgiving as well as us. But before we get into everything happening with this weekend's football and, of course, Thanksgiving football, let's go around. So I'm Big Z representing Thanksgiving's favorite team, the Detroit Lions. But then we got Barney representing the Bears.
Bears, Packers. You know, I said before I didn't want the Bears brass to be bailed out by wins, but I can't accept the Packers victory over us. Fuck them. Let's go Bears.
Then we got Kinger representing the Packers.
Gentlemen, this historically is a great week for the Green Bay Packers. I'm pumped. I'm excited to be here. Go Pack.
And then last but not least, we got Remy representing the Vikings.
I hope the Bears and the Packers tie.
All right, so let's get into it here. And you know, since this is a Thanksgiving episode, or at least we're releasing this on Thanksgiving Day, we're gonna start this, of course, by talking about the Lions, because this is our holiday. This is my holiday right here, gentlemen. Before I get into it, though, I'm curious. Do you guys like the fact that the Lions play every Thanksgiving? I don't think we've really talked about this. So I was curious what you guys feel about the Lions playing every Thanksgiving and getting to watch them. They're always on 11 o'clock. It's a beautiful thing for me, at least. Barney, I see you shaking your head. Does that mean you love it? You love the Lions, right? You're a big Thanksgiving Lions guy.
Yeah, I think the Lions are a lot of fun, just to watch. It's going to be a high-scoring game. The over's always in play. But, yeah, just like you said, it's the early game, so usually I'm getting home from my turkey bowl, and I missed a half of football, and I realize it's just the Lions game, so I don't really care.
Oh, God. Man, Kinger, how about you? The Packers and Lions, I think, they've played each other more than anybody, at least. The Lions have played the Packers more than anybody. It used to just be Lions-Packers all the time. Then Vince Lombardi kind of got sick of it and took it away from the Packers from being an annual tradition. But just your feelings on it.
Yeah, we've been fortunate to be able to watch some good Packers-Lions battles on Thanksgiving, and I'm going to agree with Barney. I mean, I don't actually understand the reasoning why. I don't know that I've ever looked up why it's the Lions and Cowboys that play every year on Thanksgiving, but, it's kind of what we've grown up with. That's a tradition, and although the Lions are not always putting the best product on the field, it is enjoyable to wake up and start your Thanksgiving every year with that 11 o'clock a.m. game. I'm a big fan of it, and I do like that they keep the tradition with those two squads every year.
Yeah, no, I mean, this started in the 60s just to bring attention to the city. The city needed a lot of attention, and so they started having football on Thanksgiving. And they started it. The Lions started this. The Cowboys just kind of followed suit because they're the Cowboys, and they're, quote-unquote America's team. They can do whatever the hell they want, apparently, and just take over a holiday as well and get the holiday that everybody else wants. But no, the Lions definitely started this. That is for certain. Undebatable. And that's why it's really the Lions holiday here. But Remy, you gotta like watching the Lions, right? Come on, man, give me some love.
I don't mind watching the Lions. I don't mind watching the Lions. I'll give some love. It was fun. It was fun while the Vikings played them in the past couple of years, and we got that taken away from us. For what reason, I don't know. It's fine though. At least we got football, and I hate the Cowboys, so I always like watching the Lions.
Yeah, so, I mean, let's go into what this game here is. The Lions are at home. They're 3-point underdogs to the Houston Texans, a 3-7 Houston Texans team. The Lions are underdogs, too. That's a lovely way to head into this Thanksgiving game here. Before we even jump into this game here and discuss everything about the Houston Texans, I mean, let's just look at the Lions injury report. It's bad, and that's part of the reason why the Lions are 3-point underdogs. Okuda's out, Amendola's out, Austin Bryant's out, Deshaun Hand is out, Kenny Golladay, our top wide receiver, out. So two of our top three receivers are out for this game. Then Aquara and Trey Flowers. Julian Aquara, I should mention, is out. Trey Flowers, I just mentioned, he's out. Big V, our big offseason signing from an offensive lineman standpoint. He looks like he's not going to play. And then on the edge of their questionable coming in this game is DeAndre Swift, Reggie Ragland, and Amani Warrior, our best cornerback. So this could be just a shit ton of backups playing in this game besides four of our offensive linemen. Oh, man. It'll be entertaining. So, I mean, Barney, you were mentioning the over And do you still feel confident that the Lions can get over? You said you watched them last week, their offense. I'm not confident right now.
No. I mean, anytime Kenny Galladay is not out there, the best product isn't out there as an offense. And, I mean, you couple that with the other 15 injuries you talked about, and that's going to be a little brutal for you guys. But one side, of the coin is that you guys are facing Houston's team, and that team lets up points to anybody. So, I don't have faith in the over. I don't have faith in a ton of points coming from the Lions side, but it's a good opponent to face up when you're all banged up.
I would agree with you, Barney, normally, because this was the same philosophy I had going into last weekend against the Panthers. The Panthers had a bottom 5 defense in the NFL, just gave up 40-plus points to the Chiefs the week before. Now, that's the Chiefs, but still, one of the worst defenses in the NFL, and the Lions got blanked by them. The over-under in this one is 51.5, by the way. I'm hoping the Lions just maybe run the ball 5 times in this game and just throw the entire time. I don't think this Houston secondary is really bad. They're I think bottom 2 in the NFL in terms of yards allowed per game passing, and there's good reason for that. JJ Watt's a shell of himself, and the rest of the defensive line is not existent in the pass rush. So I really like the matchup there. But man, I'm not going to really break down this game too much. There's not much to break down. The Lions need to adjust their play calling like drastically and do it in 3 days' time. I don't have confidence in that. I was watching the game film last week, and the Lions aren't running any mesh routes. They lead. They're lowest in the league on offense in terms of motion. They use motion less than everybody else. The most successful offenses in the NFL are using motion. So unless the Lions start jumbling everybody around and just drastically changing their play calling, it's going to be a struggle. Maybe not this week, because I do like the Lions this week, of course. So I look forward just to sitting back, having a few beers at 11:30, and watching the Lions hopefully just remain in playoff contention. Just give me the slightest sliver of hope. Like I said, 2% chance to make the playoffs. Let's turn it into 4% by the end of this game. So I have the Lions winning this one 31-23. I think the Lions, they pull it out here. They're going to Darren Bevel, I still liked him. This is my last chance. This is my last hope. If the Lions lose it, they're done for the season, and I'm just like wowing here for 5 weeks with no fun. So the Lions are going to win. Let's go around to the rest of predictions. Let's start with you, Remy. How do you feel? Lions, 3-point underdogs.
I like the Lions.
Yeah, you
not
do.
Sold on the Texans whatsoever. I think you hit every point on the head. When breaking down the Houston secondary, and I like the Lions too. I'm gonna have to agree. I'm gonna say like 31-20 in favor of the Lions. That a boy.
The only thing that scares me, and it's the same thing that scared me last week, is speedy wide receivers on the outside and running crossing routes. Will Fuller, and Brandon Cooks fit that description really well. And that's what gave us trouble last week, DJ Moore and Curtis Samuel. This could be a replication of that. But I say that they had a big game last week, but the Lions did hold the Panthers. The defense was not the problem last week. It hasn't been the problem the last few weeks, actually. It's been the offense. So, Kinger, how do you feel? Come on, baby.
This year's Lions Thanksgiving game at least gives a little bit more excitement, I think, than last year when we had the I don't remember who was the Chase Daniel versus David Blau matchup for the Lions last year on Thanksgiving. So this year we get to at least watch, 2 good quarterbacks. Stafford's back in the lineup for Detroit this year, obviously, and then Deshaun Watson. I think this game's going to be actually more entertaining than the other, afternoon game it looks like we're getting now. I think there's definitely going to be some points scored. But I'm gonna trust Deshaun Watson in that Texans offense and the ability to score more points than the Lions can. I don't really believe in the Texans defense either, but I'm gonna take Deshaun, and the Lions really have not proven to me that they can stop anybody. So in a shootout, I'm gonna take Deshaun. I'm gonna take the Lions 27-21.
Wait, you're taking the Lions 27-21?
I'm taking the Texans 27-21. My bad.
Oh boy. Kinger, you're going to have a miserable Thanksgiving. Something's just going to go wrong. You just jinxed yourself, basically. That's bad karma. Bad karma. That's all I'm going to say. Barney, come on. You want some good karma, right, for Thanksgiving? What's going to happen here?
Bigsy, I gotta say, you definitely just made it move when you were talking about throwing back some cold ones at 11 o'clock. I got really happy just hearing you say that.
That's
But
what Thanksgiving's all about.
It is.
It's a football holiday.
I think it's going to be a close game. I think it's going to be a 4-point game. I'm just after throwing out a goose egg to not a good defense versus Carolina, like you said. And with an injury report, I just don't think they have enough to do it. I'm going to go 24-20 Houston.
Barney. I had the slightest sliver of faith in you. You just destroyed it. Any sort of credibility you had is completely gone. I know you guys all predicted the game last week correctly, and I was wrong. But ignoring that fact, your credibility is gone for this week. You and Kinger. I hope you have a good time with your family. But beyond that, it's gonna be a miserable day for you. Karma will come back. But anyway, all right. So those are Lions Thanksgiving predictions. So if you're listening, enjoy watching the Lions. Just appreciate what you got, all right? Let's move on now let's fast forward to Sunday here. Before we get into the big Sunday night game, there is Minnesota Vikings. They're playing on Sunday, Remy. They got the Panthers. They're 3.5-point favorites in Minnesota against this Carolina team that just shut out my Detroit Lions. So how do you feel going into this game? It looks like Teddy Bridgewater, he was close to playing last week, and I haven't researched enough to see if he will be officially ready to go. But I think that's kind of fun, see him come back to Minnesota.
Oh, I've had this game circled. I mean, we talked about it on our first ever podcast, one of our first episodes, the games that we had circled and we're looking forward to, and this was one of them. I do know for a fact that if there were fans allowed in the stadium, by the way, Teddy will be playing, I've seen. So I do know for a fact that when they announced Teddy's name, that if there were fans, 66,000 fans would be on their feet for Teddy. We love Teddy. I will be wearing my Teddy Bridgewater jersey. I hope he tears it up. The dude deserves it. He's a well-poised quarterback, good kid. But I mean, nothing but love for Teddy. So I'm really anxious to see how he does.
Were you planning on going to this game before COVID?
Yeah. Yep. So, I mean, I'll be rooting for Teddy. It's not too much because I got a bet with another Bears guy about records, and we got to start winning some games now to catch up. So, it's tough though. Looking at our injury report, we had a lot of people not participating today. One of our starting guards, Ezra Cleveland, starting D-end, Efedi Adedabo, Harrison Smith didn't participate with a neck injury. Another guard, Drew Samia. It's ugly, but the season has been ugly. 4 points separates us from being 7-3. So it is what it is.
What do you hear about Thielen right now? Isn't he in COVID protocol?
Yeah. I saw the update today, and with Adam Thielen, it's day by day. It's Zimmer doesn't even know yet when asked. So question mark if he'll play. So if I'm a betting man, I would go down to the nearest casino and take Justin Jefferson's receptions over by a mile. He actually won me over 100. I think he won me like $150 last week on that touchdown. So Justin Jefferson's in for a big day, hands down, rookie of the year. Fifth receiver off the board. You guys should have taken him. But no. Aside from all that, Dalvin looks great. I expect the Vikings to win on this one, 27-14. Teddy, of course, with 2 touchdowns. I got 5 on it. Bridgewater comes back to Minnesota, where his career started.
You have the Vikings winning, right?
Oh, yeah, of course.
Okay, just making sure. You said more positive things about Teddy Bridgewater in Carolina, or I guess just Teddy Bridgewater, than you did your own team there. That's why I wasn't sure who you're predicting to win.
That's how you know the season is a weird one.
Barney, Teddy Bridgewater going to take care of business against his former team?
Dude, as much as I love the Minnesota's run game, and I think it's a good matchup with Carolina, this Carolina team's a tough out, and they don't just get blown out in games, and sometimes they're in games that they shouldn't be in. I'm gonna go with Teddy Two Gloves to pull out a victory here. I'm gonna say 24-23.
Oh, I like that score. Yeah. Yeah, I do like this Panthers team, the way that I think that they match up with the Vikings. But I think the Vikings are ultimately going to pull it out here. But it will be a close one. I have 23-20 Vikings here. I think they do just enough in the run game to control the clock and get a late field goal to win this game. Kinger, how do you feel about the Vikings here?
I'm going to hop on the Vikings 27-24 as well. I think I can't expect the Panthers to put up the similar performance that they did last week. I think playing a little bit better opponent this week. Sorry, Big Z. Expect them.
That's fair.
Expect them to continue. Minnesota's look good. They started off a little slow last week, but I'm going to continue. I'm on the Vikings train right now. I think they're going to take care of business this week as well.
All right, so there you have it, Vikings fans. Get ready to see the return of your former quarterback in Minnesota. Well, on TV at least, because you cannot attend the game. But let's now shift our focus to the last game. This is Sunday Night Football. It's a big one. Barney, your Bears have a chance of getting one game of the division, and that is because they are going to Green Bay to face the Packers. So let's King, I'm going to let you just take this one initially. Break down everything about this game, at least from your side of the football. I think the Packers are 5-point favorites. That's what I am looking at right now in Green Bay. That's kind of a close line. Closer than
5 point. I've seen 8.5.
Oh, you
I saw
7.5? Oh,
I saw 7.5 earlier, but it's offline now. But somewhere in that vicinity.
Okay, my mistake.
No, you're good. But yeah, I mean, this is a week that's.
Oh yeah, sorry, I was looking at the wrong one. You're right, 8.5. It's 8.5 right now.
Yeah,
8.5. Okay, so it's moving in the other that direction. All right. But yeah, this is a week historically a lot of great memories for Packers fans. And in recent history, particularly since 2016, the Chicago Bears have managed a whole single win versus the Green Bay Packers. So the last few years has really been in Green Bay's favor. And it seems that, just about every year we're having the same conversation, or what it has been the last few years as well. Chicago Bears got a great defense, high-powered Green Bay offense coming in, and, nobody knows who is going to be the quarterback of the Chicago Bears this week. Although I think there's been some news around that. We'll let Barney talk about that in a little bit. But, it's just kind of the same storyline that we have, again, going into this. So, injury-wise for Green Bay, first injury report came out today. There's a lot of folks that were limited participation. But overall, I think we are trending in a positive direction. I think we came out of last week's game against the Colts, pretty healthy for the most part. And it appears that we're going to have most of our guys ready to go again this week. And I think that's obviously going to be critical to, be able to have full strength against a very good Bears defense. And I said a few weeks ago on the podcast, I don't think I was giving the Bears enough credit earlier in the season for how well they were playing. And I definitely think that they are going to pose another very solid challenge for Aaron Rodgers and LaFleur to try and scheme up against. That being said, I think we played a very good team and a very good defense last week in the Indianapolis Colts. And, we showed that we have the ability to put up some points. Granted, we did have some short fields last week, but the first half was very efficient. I expect and hope that Green Bay is going to be able to do the same again this week. I think, the home field advantage, that's maybe not as much as it has been, obviously, in the past with COVID. That's been a constant topic this year that we've talked about. But Green Bay has not looked good this year outdoors in cold weather. And that's a factor that I hope to see us come out and play with some energy, because I think the Bears are going to be fired up, ready to play off a bye. And the expectation is that they do come out high energy just like last week, and hopefully they can show that they are the better team, because I fully believe that they are, and I think it's going to be another similar instance to what's been going on the last few years for the Bears when they come up to Green Bay.
Yeah, and just really before we shift it over to Barney, 43 degrees, low at 24 on Sunday. So probably closer to 24 degrees by kickoff. So Barney.
Kinger, what was your score prediction?
I hadn't given one yet, but I'm thinking about this, trying to give the Bears the defense the respect that they deserve. I'm going to take Green Bay 23-16.
All right.
So, Green Bay versus the Bears. It's like one of the oldest rivalries in American sports. It's one of the most hated rivalries, and it's for good reason. I don't know, Remy or Big Z, if you know the love lost between us, but between rivals, it's like, oh, it's the game that everybody gets up for. This is one that they just hate the other side. Well, the Bears legitimately have a reason to hate the Packers, okay? And I'll remind everybody here. It was November 23rd, 1986, the year after the Bears won the Super Bowl. The Bears were facing Green Bay. It was 10-2 Bears and the 2-10 Packers, and the Bears ended up with a victory. However, during the game, Jim McMahon rolled out, threw a pass, took 9 steps, was close to the sideline, 9 steps after he threw it, and Charles Martin, don't forget that fucker's name, Charles Martin picks him up, slams him on his shoulder, and tears his rotator cuff. And so the Bears go into the playoffs, and they squander it away with their backup quarterback. I fucking hate the Packers. That was a dirty fucking hit. It was one of the dirtiest hits I've ever seen in all of my time. And for that reason, every time that the Bears play the Packers, I hope that Aaron Rodgers suffers an absolutely grotesque injury. One that's going to make him never play football ever again. Because until that void is filled, I will not let that grudge go. Okay? Now,
I'm behind that 100%.
This is what years
That's
of
aggressive.
dominance. This is what years of dominance does to one's brain right here. This is the limits is what it pushes him to.
Now, this game, I still believe in our Bears defense, even without Akeem Hicks, who might not be playing. He didn't play today with a hammy. We're a little banged up all up and down the board, but I think Roquan Smith has quietly become one of the best linebackers in the entire league. He's top 3 in coverage, and he's just an animal. I think he has the most tackles in the league at this point, or at least he's up there. I think he'll do enough to overcome Akeem's absence. Not absinthe. I almost had some absinthe today on Black Wednesday, but this is a game where I just like. It's a good thing that the Bears are really good on defense and jack shit on offense, because I really hope that once the Bears get the ball, they just punt it on first down and then just let our defense go after Aaron Rodgers for double the amount of plays, because I just want him carried out in a stretcher. Win, lose, go home. I don't give a shit. Anyway, if you want a score prediction from me, I'm going to say it's an ugly game. Shocker. But Trubisky is back.
The biscuit.
Trubisky is back. And you know what? I'm just eager to see somebody roll out of the pocket and scramble a little bit. We have not had an answer for Pettine's defense in a couple years now. Our line is shaky, but I think Trubisky comes back in his game and proves it. Takes a Packer winner, 20-19. Let's go.
Well,
the Bears are one of the few teams that can say that they've been completely shut down by a Pettin defense the last couple of years. That's one of the rare teams that can say that.
And I can just speak for Remy and me that I hate both your fucking teams. So I know there's a lot of hate from Barney and the Packers and Kinger to the Bears, but I can at least share a mutual hate for both of you. So there's that.
It's not even so much hate for me anymore, man. I mean, again, when you're like, I keep repeating it, but when you're used to it being this one lopsided, and when Green Bay has beaten Chicago in every single meaningful game that you can think of and remember for the foreseeable or for the past, I mean, come on. I mean, it's fun, and I love hearing how fired up they get. I mean, it is a big deal. I love beating the Chicago Bears. It's a lot of fun, but I enjoy it because they get so fired up, and you can tell they want this win badly. That's for sure.
Nothing makes him more frustrated than that one where Aaron Rodgers came back in the second half and he was like on like some sort of drug or something like that. That one gets me most upset in most recent memory.
We got a defense, he said, and then we proceeded to let up 260 yards on the ground in an NFC Championship game a few months later. So how things change.
Barney, you got something to throw in there?
Yeah, it's just, you know what, Kinger, enjoy, these next. I'll be giving to you and say that Aaron Rodgers works out a contract with you guys after this year, but you got about 3 years regardless left of him at most, and then you're gonna go back to what basically every NFL team has, and that's a search for a quarterback. You guys have had this Hall of Fame guy under center for the last 30 years. All right.
Only two titles, too.
You've enjoyed your dominance, as you said. However,
exactly.
I'll take it only. I'll absolutely take an only title. I'll take one in 100 years right now. Sorry, Barney, go.
But I'm smiling because right around the corner, I mean, you take away Aaron Rodgers and a quarterback like that, and you're not going to have him for a while or for forever. But you take that guy away, and you guys all of a sudden become one of the worst teams in the league. And enjoy it, because you only got about 6 more games where you're going to be smiling. All right?
I appreciate you letting me enjoy this while it lasts, Barney. That does mean a lot to me.
So I mean, an 8.5 point spread. That's a lot, I think, for a team. These teams play.
Well, there's good of a Bears defense. That's the spread wise. You got to be looking like most of that money's got to be going on Chicago.
At the very least, I'm going to be throwing them in a tease to get that to like 14.5, 15. But I'm excited to actually see Trubisky back for the Bears. I'm kind of rooting for. I was telling my other Bears fans, I'm kind of rooting for his success. I think Nagy's done a terrible job coaching him. He doesn't use Trubisky's athleticism at all, and that's been the biggest criticism, I think, from a lot of people. And maybe they'll change. I doubt it. But I kind of want to see him succeed, just because I think he deserves it to a degree. Just because I don't think he's been put in the right situation to succeed. But I think this is going to be a 24-20 game. It's going to be really close. So I like the Bears to cover, and I'm going to be throwing them in a tease and possibly one of my best bets. We'll see. Remy, let's go to you last. What do you think?
Yeah, I hate both of these teams. But I mean, you guys know my rule on the podcast and just in general. You never root for the Packers or the Saints. Number 3 would be the Bears, but I'm going to have to take the Bears. I don't even care to what. I don't even care. We'll go.
Throw out a number. Take them out of a hat.
We'll go 30-24.
That'll be a hell of a game.
Trubisky rolls out and scores an anytime touchdown, and all bettors worldwide that bet on Trubisky for an anytime rollout touchdown are going wild. And I agree. I hope somebody just lays the smackdown on Aaron Rodgers, because I just hate the Packers and I hate the Bears, and I hope they just suck both. I don't know. I'm taking the Bears though because I hate the Packers.
And there's no over/under on this game right now, so it's just a spread.
0-0.
That would be someone that'll be something. You need the Lions offense out there though to score 0 points. But all right, so I think that's going to be to wrap up our preview. I mean, of the Week 12 games here, the Thanksgiving weekend games. So let's get on to our last segment here, and that, of course, is best bets. So, Barney, can you just say the order? Who's in first, second, third, and fourth right now? I think you're still in first, right?
Yeah. Okay. So, in last place, we have Kinger.
Yeah, boy. There you go.
Another
Tough
week.
weekend.
Another week trailing from everybody. Here we are again.
Don't worry.
Well-
This is Thanksgiving. You drink a lot and you throw a lot of money down. Beautiful. That's how you get back into it.
Absolutely.
In third place is Remy, but Remy's been hot as of late. Second, Big Z, and I am narrowly in first.
Ooh. All right. Well, I can't wait to make up for it right now. But Barney, let's start with you, man. What are Barney's best bets here for Thanksgiving week and weekend?
You know, one of my favorite teams this year so far to bet on, I think they've done me a good job covering, is the New York Giants.
Hell yeah.
You know, they're not a pretty team, but they do enough. And right now they're laying 5.5 at a Cincinnati team that is like, I mean, if they're starting Ryan Finley again, that team is atrocious.
They're not. They're starting Brandon Allen, who has like 4 career starts. It's not much better.
No, right. But, you know, I like the Giants here. I like them 5.5. It's at Cincy, but, you know, that offense looked pedestrian, and Cincy's defense isn't really that good either. So, you know, I'm going to go with them to cover by 5.5. Next, I have Arizona traveling all the way to New England. They're laying 2.5 at Gillette, and normally I wouldn't take a 3 time zone favorite here, but that NFC West battle right now between the Seahawks, the Cardinals, and the Rams is going to make Arizona have to really, you know, make sure they take care of business and not, you know, they can't really afford to take anybody lightly. And I'm not saying anybody does, but, you know, I kind of let that wash the 3 time zone game there. I like Arizona 2.5. And then last, I think Carolina covers. I think Carolina 3.5 right now at Minnesota. I don't think Kirk Cousins gets it done. I think Teddy Two Gloves comes into Minneapolis and says, "You should have paid me, not Kirk."
All right. So those are Barney's best bets right there. He's still the lead dog, so listen up to him right there. But let's move it over to Kinger. Kinger, what do you got, man? This is you got some ground to make up here. I have a feeling this might be a good weekend for you.
Yes, that's very true, Big Z. And I love the confidence, the good vibes. I actually did kill it on Thanksgiving last year, so I'm hoping to have a repeat. So I'm gonna start with the team that ride with Barney again. I love the Giants minus 5.5 as well. He's already mentioned the Giants have been a very good team this year in regards to covering spreads. The Bengals stink without Burrow. I'm gonna ride them. I think they're gonna be fired up, and I think I also saw some stuff that pretty much the whole Bengals team hates the coaching staff over there, or there's some rift going on with that. So another reason I'm hopping on the Giants. I'm going to take the other Thanksgiving game tomorrow as well. I'm going to take the Cowboys. I think the win last week got them going in the right direction. And I think, again, just heading into it, I'm going to continue to bet against Washington. They got lucky last week, Burrow going down. I'm going to continue to bet against Washington. I'm on the boys tomorrow. And then the last game, another team that I think is just garbage and continues to just show me week in and week out that they are not nearly as good as I thought they were coming in. I'm going to take the Seahawks again this week. They are laying 5 in Philly. I don't think Philly is going to be able to stay in that ball game. I like Russell Wilson to continue to roll. I'm on the Seahawks this week as well.
All right, so there it is. So Kinger's 3 best bets right there. Let's move it over to Remy. Remy, what do you got? Stay hot. You going to stay hot? You going to be staying hot?
I'm going to keep the hot streak going. Yeah, I'm keeping the hot streak going. I'm going to have to agree with Barney on the Cardinals. I like them minus 2.5. I mean, if the Patriots couldn't stop Deshaun Watson, they're not going to be able to stop Kyler Murray. So I like the Cardinals at minus 2.5. I also like the Dolphins -7 at the Jets, and I like the Browns. They got a very good chance of getting into the playoffs.
Really
I like
good.
them -7 at the Jaguars.
All right. And I see 6.5 right now on that one, actually. So that'd be a better line than that. But Remy, I just wanted to ask you in addition, you like doing these player pop parlays. Do you have any idea what you're going to be doing on Sunday for your player prop parlay?
Oh, it'll be a lot of Justin Jefferson, I can tell you that. Justin Jefferson, anytime touchdown, over receiving yards, and Dalvin Cook, anytime touchdown. I usually don't do the over in his rushing yards just because rushing is iffy, but I'll do receiving over because all it takes is a big screen from him.
There it is. Beautiful. Beautiful. He's printing money over there. You are.
Yeah.
All right. So those are Remy's 3 best bets. Let's throw over to me here. I would say if you're listening to this before the Lions game start, I'm going to be putting money in the Lions. I can't in my heart not do it on Thanksgiving. But that is not one of my 3 best bets. I will say that much. So I was on this last week. I was on the Redskins. You guys are on the Bengals. So I want to get to you guys there. And I'm going to do the same here. 2 of you like the Cardinals. I like the Patriots this week. 2.5-point underdogs at home. People like the Cardinals. I could see that going to 3 by the time the game starts. I think the Patriots are going to come up with a good defensive plan to go against this Cardinals team. I think they kind of match up well, and Damian Harris has been playing really well for them. Cam Newton's going to be running. I like the matchup, and I like the cross-country matchup there. So that's the first one. The second one, man, I do like the Giants, but I can't quite pull the trigger at 5.5. And I was leaning towards the Dolphins. They're 6.5-point favorites right now against the Jets. But ignoring that, since this one got moved off Thanksgiving, I like the Ravens 4-point underdogs at Pittsburgh. I think them matching up for the second time, a game they probably should have won against the Steelers. They had 4 turnovers in that game and lost still. I think the Ravens did. So I think they're going to keep it close. Those two always battle it out. So I think that's going to be a 3-point game either way. And then, sorry, last but not least, one of my best bets, and I'm going to throw them in a teaser as well. I mentioned it before. The Bears, 8.5-point underdogs right now. We'll see if it stays at that. But I would take that all the way to 7.5, I guess. 7.5. I wouldn't take it to 7, but 7.5, I would take the Bears too. And if it gets to 7.5, I'm definitely throwing them in a teaser. 8.5, I'll think about it, but I'll probably do it. So those are my 3 best bets as well. But man, this is the end of the podcast, but this Thanksgiving, the football holiday coming up. So if you're listening, please have a great Thanksgiving. Enjoy the football holiday. Enjoy your weekend, whether you're with your family or not. And we want to thank everybody for listening. Instagram at The Pylon. And then please subscribe and listen to us on Spotify, Apple, wherever you get your podcasts. And please leave a review if possible. We'd really appreciate it. But man, this is going to be a fun weekend. So, and a lot of drinking, at least for me. And I know Barney's already on it. Barney, you're already on it, right? You're already getting a head start. This is Wednesday. We're recording this late afternoon Wednesday.
My boss doesn't tune in here, so I'll say I've been drinking since noon.
Beautiful, beautiful. All right, so thank you everybody for listening. For Barney, Kinger, Remy, I'm Big Z. Everybody have a great holiday, and we'll come back to you after Sunday night's game.